is Peacock. I am a chef in Marion, Alabama, and we are shooting live in the Biscuit Kitchen. The Biscuit Kitchen is a beautiful historic kitchen in a beautiful historic home in Marion, Alabama. The house was built in 1858, I think, and this is where people come from all over and we have cooking experiences. It's not a cooking class. It is an exchange and a dialogue that happens over food and tradition and memory and experience. And they're highly organic in nature because everyone's different and everyone brings something really unique to the experience. Today we are in the Biscuit Kitchen to make cornbread. Why cornbread? Why world? And we're making cornbread because I adore cornbread, for one thing. Cornbread is one of the most iconic Southern foods. It's one of the most personal Southern foods that there is. Once it was so distinctive. I mean, every family, I think, or every cook had their own particular way of making cornbread. I have a few different ways of making cornbread, but the one I'm making today is probably my favorite. And it's a very light, very crusty exterior, very light, moist interior. That is good all on its own, but really takes well to butter and good honey also. This is a very, very old school form of cornbread. And this is a cornmeal from my hometown of Hartford, Alabama, from J.T. Pollard's. And it's the finest that makes it so specific and so great. It's white cornmeal, which honestly, it sounds pretty naive, but I didn't even realize there was yellow cornmeal until I was an adult, because in the part of Alabama where I'm from, we only had white, which most people think is a little sweeter, but then a lot of people will tell you that yellow cornmeal is sweeter, that white is bitter. This cornbread is something that is so basic. I think it's easy to think of cornbread as being simple, and I don't think anything is simple. The simpler something is, like cornbread, the harder it is to do. And it's about a teaspoon of kosher salt. A lot depends on the buttermilk. If the buttermilk's very salty, then you need to use less, and you need to know your buttermilk and taste these things and be involved in it. And a scant teaspoon of baking soda. If you put too much baking soda, it has an off flavor, but it'll also turn the cornbread orange, which is not my goal here. And whisk it together. And it's just a couple of tablespoons of butter-ish. And I'm going to put it in here. Okay, so that's about 1.5-ish. I measure out the 1.5 cups so that I have a consistent starting point. You really have to just eyeball the amount of buttermilk, and it's hard to put too much, and I'd always rather have too much than not enough. This is the fun part. So, because this cornmeal absorbs so much liquid, I make it very loose and pourable. This has a satiny sheen to it already, but that's the main thing I look for. Now we have to put in the butter, which is almost ready. There we go. Nothing else in the world sounds like that, does it? God, that got to me a little bit. Yeah, sometimes it needs a little more salt, but this is pretty good, I think. And I'm usually very messy with this, even though I've done it a whole bunch. And I never get this even. Oops. I could have possibly thinned it out even a little more, but it's too late now. This is all very uneven, but so is life. Here we go, back in the oven. There we go. I know I smell it too. Yeah, these are nice. I might have made these a little too loose, but I think they'll be good. It's all about noticing, you know. I cooked when I was a child, very young. I was very interested in transformation. None of those things we put into here resemble this in any way. So you put these things that bear no resemblance, and you combine them and you put them in the oven, and you get this. Fascinated by food culture, by food traditions, and the Black Belt of Alabama is unlike anywhere else that I've ever been. And I love exploring it, but also love sharing it with people who come to visit. That's something I knew right away when I came here and started thinking about actually being here as more than just a visitor, was the idea of bringing people to Marion.